Hit me with it. They're good to listen in because if in case they run into this, she's around quite a bit. So
Okay, so Sybil had a very bad day yesterday.
Mhm.
What I can tell, she had a concussion, got taken hostage, went to the doctor at some point, walked out of the hospital after being told she had a concussion. Some time passed. Then there was the incident where the three of you, found her at the login area. She got brought to the cauldron. She then had an encounter with Seamus McCarthy and a female member of the Hounds. As a result of this, she at some point started drinking with the concussion. Had her duty gear on her the entire time. I personally witnessed her brandishing her taser when Seamus McCarthy dropped her off at the BCSO. Seamus called me and told me that she had been using, as in firing, her weapon off duty. Unclear if that was her taser or her pistol. She had a lot of conversations with people, specifically also with McCarthy. McCarthy likely brought her to the Polito Bank and took her into the vault. Unclear if they robbed it while she was there, or
oh my gosh, what
if they
the
had
fuck?
robbed it and then brought her back to show her that they'd robbed it. She got dropped off at BCSO with me. I saw that she had her duty gear on her off duty. I had her stow her gear. I got her some damn medical attention, got her to the hospital, checked into ICU.
Good.
She got let out of the ICU today. She's mentally cognizant. She seemed like she knew she had fucked up and wanted to talk. Romello and I got her in a room. I asked her to give me a sequence of events. She gave me a rough, kind of vague sequence of events that largely matched up with everything, but obscured a lot about her time with Seamus McCarthy and the Hounds. Romello and I then asked her a series of pointed questions concerning things she had told me while I was attempting to get her medical attention, or that Seamus McCarthy had said. And basically, it appears that she has been conducting an investigation off-duty into the Faceless as a cadet without any command oversight or permission, possibly in conjunction with the members of the Chronicle. She's particularly interested in the Masquerade event. It's unclear how much information that she's dug up. She shared with McCarthy. She was fairly evasive. She said she could not recall if she shared information with McCarthy. I asked her directly if she had put together anything in her narrative from police reports or communiques with members of police department or overheard on radio. She fairly clearly said no, that there's not really material in the MDT she has access to concerning the Faceless.
Yeah.
She apparently made a deal with McCarthy when McCarthy dropped her off. The last thing McCarthy shouted from his car as we were going into the BCSO was, "Thank you for the information on the Faceless," at which point Cibil walked up to the car and whispered something, and when I asked her today what she whispered to McCarthy, she said, "The deal's off." When questioned about the deal, she said that McCarthy had promised to buy her a drink. When pressed what her side of the deal was, she would not give an answer. That satisfied myself or Romello. So, in totality, all of these things are vague and theoretically explainable, and in a vacuum, one by one, I think could be kind of looked over. However, with now us pressing her and her articulating that she's essentially running an off-duty investigation as a cadet, along with the gear concerns and the potential issue of leaks, and then also the hooks that the Hounds may have in her now, right? They may be able to blackmail her or have some kind of emotional control over her, because she's very clearly overworked, stressed, mentally not in the best place. I think the only course of action we should take is to release her effective immediately.
I'll step in real quick. I told Jonas right now, just pending investigation, 24-hour suspension right now, so she's not allowed to be on duty. Her stuff is in her locker, I presume from the last time, right, Jonah?
Yes.
One thing I noticed throughout that thing, that whole like kind of conversation we had, she would go for, I don't know if it's the concussion, maybe that's what I was leaning towards. She would lean towards a definite no, but then when pressed again or asked for clarification, it will then resort back to I don't believe so or I don't recall. So it'll go from definite to kind of like vague answers, trying to avoid answering the question. And I don't know, Knight or Maeve, have you guys disclosed anything to her about the Faceless? Because she said she got nothing from anyone.
No,
So,
she hasn't been anywhere near it.
So everything's from the Chronicle, the newspaper, and I don't.
Yeah, so here's kind of the thing, right? This is concerning for a number of reasons. The first, for me, the biggest thing is the lack of. I'm a stickler for this, and this goes for everybody in the department, right? If it's a serious matter and you're in a circumstance in which we need to determine what a subordinate has done pertaining to a police matter, if they are not forthcoming willingly, right? And that to me is the biggest red flag, right? Because like you said, a lot of things can be explained away, right? Concussion, right? But if it's not forthcoming enough, you become a liability, right? Liability for active investigations, liability for what you might do in the future. In other words, I don't know if at that stage, I can trust that individual. And with the setting we are in the department, we can't handle having to second guess someone in an active combat situation or a situation that could compromise the state.
And I just want to clarify, she didn't let anybody in this room know that she was talking to the guy from the Chronicle, right?
Not me.
No.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't know why she's been doing this stuff on her own volition, to be honest. I don't really buy the overwork thing either. I mean, that might be a thing, but the little thing I'm gonna let you know. She had a P&T session on my day off, I think on Thursday. The day before all this had happened, and she was very what's the word I'm looking for? She was very uncertain of herself, which is understandable, right? She was like,
we put her in hot water.
In hot water, right? And I was like, listen, you're not gonna become a, all these things take time. You're not just gonna learn right away. And I think she was being a little hard on herself, but I could tell she was kind of like cracking a bit, right? The next day, prior to the concussion, she was entirely incomprehensible, right? So I do want to be considerate of the potential mental and health state of her during this time period. Because if it is a mental and health condition, it is that becomes a little bit different for me than actions taken when you are of sound mind. Now, with that said, she did go to the hospital. We brought her there. Oh, no, we didn't bring her there. We showed up after the shootout yesterday, Del Perro shootout. And she was clear to the hospital. How she continued to be concussed is kind of a mystery. As she was dropped off, me being in Maeve met her because she went from the hospital with EMS, stayed with EMS, and then dropped off at the pub. So I think outside of just the 24 hours, I think we need to get a medical clearance, like a proper one. You know what I mean?
And she was dropped off, by the way. She wasn't having any alcohol at the pub, the Cauldron. I made sure that Eve was only giving her like regular drinks, like mocktails. She wasn't given any alcohol by Eve.
Yeah.
I need to go. If you'd like to come with me.
Yeah, we'll come with you.
It is a house off Tug Street. Actually, I feel like I've been there before when Action Caption was murdered. So
Okay.
Let's
Well-
go find out.
All right.
One thing before we leave is this deal thing is scaring me because she explicitly said that she did make a deal
This is
with
Ruby.
was it McCarthy, Jonah?
Yep.
That she made a deal with McCarthy and she explicitly said that she said the deal is off at the BCSO. So we don't
Understood.
know what this fucking deal is. And she was reluctant to say. She says, I don't recall what I said, or no, I didn't say anything. So I didn't want to keep pressing her, but that is something that is on my mind. That's very that's a red flag.
I want y'all two to make the final decision. I will put my recommendation, and I don't want you to feel like you are like you must follow this, right? My take is this. Given medical condition, I witnessed it. Maeve Bean witnessed it. They could probably attest to that. For some reason, she was cleared without this. Her shit with the newspaper, very bad. Not I would extend the 24-hour until she gets medical clearance, like full-blown medical clearance, like psychological, mental health, like, you know, all that shit. Upon doing so, re-engage her and ask these questions. If she's not forthcoming, take her keys. You know what I mean?
Sounds like
I think,
that's the same thing I was on.
Yeah. So,
Alrighty.
and that also prevents us from being potentially liable if she's still fucked up. You know what I mean?
For what it's
'Cause
worth,
I ain't medically certified, so sorry.
for what it's worth, I think this is all really disappointing. I was really starting to get excited about Sybil as you know, member of the
Brother,
department.
so am I. So hopefully she sees this as a way to save herself, and maybe, who knows, maybe it's one big medical thing still. Good work, gentlemen. I'm gonna hit you up again. I'm sorry, the timing's just awful right now.
No, that's all good.
All right, appreciate you.
That's Ruby.